Have you ever heard a historical fact so bizarre you thought it had to be fake? Well, Poland's history is full of them. From disappearing off the map for more than a century, to a bear serving in the army, to writing Europe's first constitution, Poland's past is stranger and more fascinating than most people realize. Today we're looking at some Polish history facts that sound fake, but are completely true. Let's start with this. Poland literally vanished from the map for 123 years. In the late 1700s, Poland was still a big and powerful country, but its neighbors, Russia, Prussia, and Austria, decided to divide it up. After 3 rounds of partition, the last one in 1795 completely erased Poland. For more than a century, there was no independent Polish state. No borders, no government, no flag, but the people kept their culture and language alive. And after World War I in 1918, Poland finally came back. Imagine a country being gone for over 100 years and still managing to return. Now here's a story that sounds like a cartoon but is totally real. During World War II, a bear named Wojtek served in the Polish army. He was an orphaned Syrian brown bear adopted by soldiers in Iran. And he wasn't just a mascot, he was officially enlisted with his own rank and paybook. Wojtek's job was carrying crates of artillery shells during the famous Battle of Monte Cassino, and soldiers swore he did it just like a human. He loved beer, cigarettes, and wrestling with the troops. After the war, Wojtek lived in a zoo in Scotland, where visitors came from all over to see the soldier bear who once helped fight the Nazis. You've probably heard the story that Polish cavalry charged German tanks with lances in 1939. It's one of the most famous stories from World War II, but it's also a myth. The cavalry did exist, but they weren't charging tanks with sticks like medieval knights. They were mobile, modern, and well-trained. They carried rifles, machine guns, and even anti-tank weapons. The myth started when Polish cavalry charged German infantry and actually won. But war reporters misunderstood the scene, and Nazi and Soviet propaganda exaggerated it to make Poland look primitive. But Poland's history isn't just about war. It also includes one of the biggest countries Europe has ever seen. From the 1500s to the 1700s, Poland and Lithuania joined forces to create the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. This was a massive state that stretched from the Baltic Sea almost to the Black Sea. It was home to Poles, Lithuanians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, Jews, Armenians, and more. And here's the wild part. The king wasn't just born into power. He was elected by the nobility. It wasn't perfect, and sometimes it was chaotic. But for the time, it was one of the most unusual and democratic systems in Europe. And speaking of being ahead of its time, Poland also wrote Europe's first modern constitution. On May 3, 1791, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth adopted a written constitution, just 4 years after the US Constitution. It introduced reforms like separation of powers, protection for peasants, and a stronger central government. Sadly, it didn't last long. Poland's powerful neighbors saw it as a threat. And within just a few years, Poland was partitioned again and wiped off the map. But the May 3rd Constitution is still remembered today as a symbol of progress and national pride. Poland has also given the world some of the greatest minds in science. Take Nicolaus Copernicus. Born in Poland in the city of Toruń, he developed the idea that the Earth revolves around the Sun, not the other way around. At the time, this idea was considered shocking, even dangerous. But it completely changed how we understand the universe and laid the foundation for modern astronomy. And then there's Marie Curie, who many people think of as French, but she was born and raised in Warsaw as Maria Skłodowska. She later moved to Paris, where she made history as the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, and the only person ever to win 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences, physics and chemistry. She even named the first element she discovered, polonium, after her homeland. So Poland quite literally left its mark on the periodic table. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed these unbelievable facts from Polish history, make sure to give this video a like. It really helps the channel out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into amazing history from around the world. Now I want to hear from you. Out of all these facts, which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be reading them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.